John.
What it do with the folk? What's up, George? What's up, Zach? Alex, welcome back. What it do with the folk? What it do with the business is, man? It's your boy DT3, the Boom Beezy, man. And I'm back at you again with another Box Talk podcast. Box Talk 171. Ain't no particular title for this, man. Feel me? I'm just finna go in and just do a little Box Talk, speak on what I've been seeing as we're going on in the sport of boxing today. And really ain't been nothing too special. That's pretty much why I ain't been making no videos, nothing like that. I kind of just been sitting back watching, not really looking at other YouTubers per se. Just been really just kind of like looking at the way the pieces are being moved in the sport and what fighters is really talking about, what they look like they really doing. You got shit going on with Ryan Garcia. I just watched my boy Deuce's live little video pertaining to Ryan Garcia. Shout out to my boy Deuce, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Shout out to my nigga Deuce. But I just watched that shit and it was just like, I mean, for me, and I gotta be honest, man. What's up? What's up with Chain with the ice though? Chain with the ice though. What it do with the folk? I really think for Ryan, I think a lot of this shit is catching up to him. And I think what he might have thought celebrity life was, or being famous in whatever it is that you do, no matter what you do in life, when you get a certain level of fame, you just have a certain level of fame. And I think when he saw what it really is, I think it did something to him. And I think he wasn't really, and I'm saying this in his defense, it's very hard for me because if I really want to just be quite honest, the man ain't sought out to be a fighter. Like if I want to be like all the way 1,000 and I don't want to be this motherfucker's lawyer and shit, Ryan Garcia, pretty much, you're not set out. You're not cut to be a fighter. You're not cut from that cloth. It's just not the cloth you cut from. You know what I mean? You good at beating. What's up with my boy Tim Ride? Yeah, I'm talking about Tim Ride, the great in the building. What to do with the folk? But I think with Ryan, I just think he's not cut out for it. You're not a real dog when it comes to this fight game. That don't mean that you can't fight. But when it comes to really being something in the fight game, in the hurt business, you're not that, cuz. That's not who you are. And then all the pressure and all the things that come with being a star, since all you dudes are so focused on being stars in the sport of boxing, that y'all don't really care about your legacy because y'all really want to be the most popular motherfucker. Y'all don't care about really being the best dude in the ring for real, for real. Y'all really just care about being the most popular. So when y'all realize that that popularity is a little much for y'all, I mean, even Rose Namajunas said that when she lost the belt to Andrade. She said that the belt was, it was like the belt was a bird. I mean, she the champ now. Congratulations to her, to Thug Rose. But some stuff be too much for certain people. And some people can only deal with the height of the height and that pressure for so long. And I think all that hype doing the hot boxing with Mike Tyson and all the publicity, it was bigger than just what you was doing on Instagram, Ryan. It was a whole lot bigger than what you was doing on Instagram. And when you realize how deep the rabbit hole really go in this game and in this real world of fame and notoriety, you ain't ready for it. You ain't about it. You ain't about it. Because you should be on top of the world right now, my nigga. You young. You supposed to be young, hungry, up and coming dude, contender in the game now. Like you should be at this particular point, since you was doing that, talking about how, your best thing was how you beat Luke Campbell, and you was bragging about how you beat Luke Campbell. The way you was talking, you was at the height of the height. What happened? What happened? What happened? For you to be at the height of the height, pretty much dictating your career, could be in a conversation where people are talking about you possibly fighting Manny motherfucking Pacquiao, which didn't happen. Talked about fighting Tank Davis, which ain't gonna happen. What happened? In my mind, he was too much for him, and I'm just going on record and just say that I think it was just too much for Ryan. Ryan is not a real fighter. He ain't cut from this cloth. It was too much for him. We give a fuck what nobody say. You can feel sorry for him. Say, oh, we don't know what he's going through. We don't know what he's dealing with. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, bro. You can come up with whatever excuse, whatever you want to, bro. No, I don't have no pets. I want a pet bulldog though. I really do. I want a bulldog, but them things is expensive. But you're not cut from this cloth, bro. You're not ready. You're not ready. You ain't about this life. And if you don't fight, you don't fight. And I do think you a duck. I do. I do think you a duck. I think you seen how it is, and you seen, it's cool. And I get your backstory. You was bullied throughout school, so you decide to learn how to box. And then now that you're a boxer, now you know how to fight. You make your little YouTube, your Instagram videos. You build your name through that, blah, blah, blah. You fight a couple of little no-name motherfuckers in the game, a couple of bums or whatever. Build your record up. Then you get one decent marquee guy, one decent dude to make you feel some type of way. And then you think you the best thing since sliced motherfucking bread, which ain't what it is. So you a duck. And then when you see like, oh shit, it's other dudes out here that's real dogs out here that I can't bully. Because you ended up turning into the motherfucker that was bullied to trying to bully other motherfuckers. And then when you see you can't bully everybody, because when you saw that if Luke Campbell could touch me, could not even connect flush Not even connect on some good, smooth shit. Just touch your dog ass. If Luke Campbell can touch you and put you on your ass, and for Luke Campbell to say from that bullshit that, oh, you could take a punch from that shit, that's bullshit. Ain't no he could take a punch because Luke Campbell touched him on the chin with a punch he didn't see coming, and that shit didn't knock hardly any, if any, sweat off that motherfucker forehead. So Ryan's a hype job. Pat, like I told you, he is the Mexican Amir Khan of today. 2.0. This is what it is. What's up, Lo? What did you do with the folk? No, he didn't say why he backed out of the fight. He didn't say why he backed out of the fight. He didn't say what he going through. Not saying that he really has to disclose that to the people, but if he's going through something in a time where he should be at, in a sense, a height of heights, that either means, in all honesty, to be fair, that means either what he thought it was, where he's at, is not what he thought it was, as far as the fame, the notoriety, and everything that may have come with it, what he thought he was going to get, and it's not what he think it is, or he could be dealing with some personal issues, like maybe some deaths in the family, or some people being sick in the family. That's, so that'll really mean that has a real big impact in the family. It could be anything along those lines. And if it's that, then I would completely understand that. Can't nobody knock Ryan if he's dealing with something of that magnitude. If you do, you just a fucking hater. An evil motherfucker, if you ask me. But from what I'm seeing, from where he's at in his career, I really feel that it's all the hype surrounding him. It's too much for him. He's not ready. I feel you. I'm gonna put this up here. George says, if you want to know what you have with a lump of coal, you put it under immense pressure. It either becomes a diamond that you're looking for, or it gets crushed into dust and deemed worthless. Facts. And I really feel like in all this situation, this is what I think. I think his pipes busted. Because pressure busts pipes. And Ryan was a nice, decent pipe, pause. And he got bust, pause. Period, point blank. He got bust. I do, Lo. I think Ryan capping. I think he is capping. But I don't think it's like, I just think it's too much for him. Because when I looked at it, that's what I thought. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first seen the little video of him kind of like saying that he, what he willing to do and how it was too much and all the shit, I was like, bruh, it's too much for him. The game too much. What's up with my nigga Deuce, though? What he do with the foe? Every time I give your ass a link, your ass dip the fuck off. If you want a link, I got it for you, but I ain't finna put it up in there unless you want the link, nigga. But I do think Ryan lightweight capping. I think he can't handle the heat. For sure. I got you, dudes. But that's just my take on with Ryan. My other thing I've been looking at lately, bro, we gotta stop overhyping these wing and ding ass dudes that's just willing to get in there and get beat the fuck up. And we just praise these dudes because they willing to get beat the fuck up. And then when they fight dudes that can move and really show you what the sweet science is all about, we talk bad about them saying they running and all some other fuck type shit. We got to cut that bullshit out, bruh. Cause hyping up these dudes like Berlinga and even Navarrete, motherfuckers like that. Like, I mean, I get it. They good fighters. They not bad. I don't knock them. I'm not saying they bad fighters by no means, but the motherfuckers get hit. And when they fight a dude that really got some good footwork, got some really good defense, really know what the fuck he doing with his ones and twos, he gonna put tips on them niggas. So I'm not sold with Navarrete. I'm not sold by, I was never sold by Berlinga. These dudes is good dudes. They can hit hard. You know what I'm saying? Even and two hands be mad at me every time I say this. Even fucking Miguel Berchelt. I felt like he fight the right guy that could move and box. Now, I didn't expect Valdez to be that guy, but I did expect a guy like Shakur Stevenson, especially being southpaw, a combination volume puncher. I felt like a fighter like that and a mover with good feet would really put hands on Berchelt. I don't think he'll stop Berchelt, but I think he'll put hands on him. I think he'll outbox him all day long. That's what I think. But at the same time, that don't take away from dude's abilities to being able to cut the ring off and actually apply real good pressure via, meaning I'm talking of a Miguel Berchelt. Berlanga, Navarrete, I am not sold on those two dudes. I feel you, Zach. Some people don't really care about the sweet science. They just want to see two people go in there and just beat up each other. It's like, yeah, that's boxing. No, the fuck it's not. That's rock'em sock'em goddamn robots. Y'all need to cut that bullshit out. What do I think about Gervonta moving up to super lightweight? It's a clout chase. It's a clout chase because Gervonta the star. He a star. He's still fucking up, but he the star. He's the motherfucking guy. That's your man, Floyd. That's your man. Gervonta Tank Davis. That's the one that's supposed to be the biggest, or supposed to be, soon to be, the biggest star in the sport of boxing. Watch what I tell you. And no, I'm not looking forward to that shit. But Gervonta Davis, the way they pushing him, is on the verge of being the next boxing superstar. He's finna be a 3-division champion. They finna push that. They finna run that all day long. Tank a star. They are not finna put Tank in any situation where he may lose by any means. Anybody they put in front of Tank, trust and believe, is there to lose to Gervonta Tank Davis. They are not there to beat him. Trust and motherfucking believe. Period, point blank. What's up with my nigga Deuce? Stop.
Ain't shit, man. Cooling, man. Winning how I be winning.
What's going on with Tank Davis, man? I've been in and out of the loop. I ain't really been like all the way in shit, but what's the little scoop on Tank Davis? I heard that nigga finna go to jail or some more shit.
I don't know. I mean, he got a hit and run. He got a hit and run case that he dealing with, and he got other cases that he's dealing with, white collar and blue collar. And then just some. That's about it. I really don't pay attention to his felonious activities or what's going on with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because like that's some shit that, as a nigga that went through shit like that, I don't really like to comment on shit like that. You feel me? Like, I mean, and like when it comes to you seeing a nigga hit a girl, okay, that's one thing. Or if I see a nigga like run his fucking car through a fucking apartment complex and he jumps out the car and he takes the fuck off. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you've witnessed. So you're gonna critique it. You know what I mean? But when it comes to a nigga that's just man down facing hurdles that's got to do with the law, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, of course you don't you know, he got a lot of promise, so you wouldn't want him to be in that situation. But I know what it's like firsthand to be in them situations. And you don't wish no shit like that on nobody, regardless of what the fuck they done, unless they touching, you know, little you know who's and shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm just being a little bit more careful with my words. I know YouTube being weird lately. I know that firsthand. Like, and they took my monetization, so I'm being careful with my words on niggas' platforms.
For real? Oh, you too?
Yeah, they snatched my monetization straight up. Said I got the type of content that should only be parental advised. Saying that I spring out hateful speech and rhetoric, all types of weird stuff. They've been coming at me like the past month for real. Between like certain boxing outfits that I don't particularly care to name because I don't even want to get them no light, and between just that in general. And I'm sure certain people got certain problems with how I drag certain people too when they be messing with me. But that's here and there. I don't care about that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's little shit. But when it come to just a dude, back to what we saying though, when it come to a dude going through stuff like that for real, I like to let it iron itself out, and then I like to formulate my opinion, because while he going through it, you know what I mean? Anybody that's been through it before, you already know you don't wish shit like that on nobody. So
right. So we already know what you think about Ryan Garcia. We already know you think he a duck. So tell the folks what's your take on that didn't catch you, and if y'all didn't catch my boy, subscribe to my boy 2 Hands Up channel, man, and check out his new vid on Ryan Garcia. That's the thumbnail right there. You see him, so go check it out. But for those who didn't see it, man, Deuce, man, let the folk know what you think about Ryan Garcia right now.
He's a fucking duck. He's an individual who has gotten coddled more than anybody in the fucking sport of boxing that I've ever seen. And casual and hardcore fans show extreme favoritism to this guy, and they give him passes when he has put his stinking ass foot in his mouth time after time after time after time again. He has been like basically a child who's been running around with that fucking marker, marking up all of the walls, and nobody says shit about it. He ain't even doing it in his own home. He's just running around marking up niggas' walls, just disrespecting. Now, my thing is, you disrespecting the fans because your truth don't hold up. You fight for an interim title. You fight for the interim WBC title at 135, and you're not willing to fight Devin Haney, who's fighting Jorge Linares right now, who's a voluntary. So you could have taken that fight. Mauricio Suleiman put you in a position so where you could have that fight next. And the only person that could back out is you, not Devin Haney. You didn't want the fight. He was approaching it. You said he said two different things. First, an individual who only beat Luke Campbell and has only sparked out guys ranked 38 and above, literally 38 and above in their weight class. He's an individual who's only sparked out Luke Campbell, has a nerve to say, yo, I don't feel like Devin Haney deserves a fucking fight with me. He's a champion. You're a fucking challenger. How fucking stupid do you sound?
That makes no sense.
He doesn't deserve it. Then you're going to turn around and say to Eddie Hearn, when he asked you about the fight, when you were talking all this Manny Pacquiao and Tank Davis shit now, how does this make sense? If you're a fan of a guy, how can you not consider him a duck? When he says, he's at 135 winning a title there, but then he says he wants to go to 130 and fight a guy who don't have titles, who has secondary belts in a freaking sanctioning body that everybody knows is corrupt, trash, and PBC favored. Nobody says shit. Okay, great. Let's take it even further. Let's take it even further than that. So now we go back to, he's not fighting Tank Davis. He's not fighting Manny Pacquiao. Now we come upon Javier Fortuna. Javier Fortuna isn't Manny Pacquiao. Javier Fortuna he isn't Tank Davis. But Javier Fortuna is dangerous. Javier Fortuna has a skill set. Javier Fortuna has footwork where we seeing your footwork get crossed up. You didn't even know what to do. Dealing with a southpaw, you kept your foot on the inside the entire fight. Bambi legs, crossed up, bad balance. So Javier Fortuna, if he is inspired and he's engaged and he doesn't go lackadaisy in the later round and get clipped, there's a high probability that he can beat you. So all of this mental health stuff, let's take it there. The mental health shit he's kicking. This is the same guy who said, being a boxer, it's comparable to a diamond. Greatness is formulated under massive pressure, and he has to embrace it all. But you pull out of your fight. You're talking about mental health. He has a mother. He has a father. I've never known them to be drug infested. I've never known them to be impoverished. I've never known him to not have the things that he wants. Shit, he's riding around in a Lambo truck right now. Not only that, when he was fighting a guy who was ranked 38th in the fucking world, he got his contract renegotiated 2 times, 2019 and 2020. 2 times they went to the drawing board for this individual, made him the highest paid prospect in boxing, gave him a multi-fight deal, gave him multiple dollars. So where's this depression coming from? Or maybe it's that you didn't put your foot in your mouth. You talk so fucking much. And we have a chronological timeline due to the modern advancements in technology so we can see through all your bullshit. So every time you say something and it doesn't add up, we can hold you accountable for it. But here's the deal. Everybody goes quiet when you need to hold them accountable. But oh, not me, because this is my thing. I'm going to hold you accountable to what you say and you do, because I'm a fan of the integrity of the sport, not a fan of the boy. Because that's how he's conducting himself, like a boy. This new age mental health kick, every time something get tough for you, I'm not feeling it. Because the trials and tribulation, these young niggas who so privileged, got a silver spoon in their mouth, got everything they want, multiple contracts, the whole world at they feet. And then not only that, when you pull out for the fucking fight, you're saying you're having problems with mental health. The next day you're on IG doing a body shot challenge, living your best life. What is it?
He ain't about that life, cuz.
He been not about that life. You got to think here. At 135, these guys have been in sparring wars upon amateur fights with one another, and I heard that he was getting the worst of most of them. So if you already know individuals and you know what they can do, you put who you feel is the biggest threat last. Every time it comes to the threats in that division, he puts them last, and then he says he's going to go up. He's going to go down to 130. He's going to go to 147. Now he's fighting Javier Fortuna. Now he needs to find himself. Now he's doing the body shot challenge. What is it, bro? When he was supposed to fight Jorge Linares, it was always some bullshit with that. What happened there? Is anybody going to hold him accountable to any things he does? But let me guess. Email Haney, though, right? Email Devin Haney, though, right? But Devin Haney's the one who chased down Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko petitioned for the goddamn franchise belt. And of course, Teofimo was going to fight him. Where's Teofimo at? He's at Top Rank. So what does Bob Arum do? They go franchise belt, creates a tournament. Devin Haney ain't involved in that. But everybody gave Devin Haney flack during a time he was out with a shoulder injury. Then came back, didn't even tell anybody, unlike niggas like Manny Pacquiao who catches an ass whooping and say, oh, it's my shoulder. Unlike niggas like Vasily Lomachenko who catches an ass whooping and say, oh, it's my shoulder. He fought with a bad hand. A freshly healed hand. Coming back off a shoulder injury, being cold, and a bad hand. But you know what? Everybody gives him all of this static because people were progressing during the time he was recovering, which is completely unfair. That's why I say the scales in boxing are tipped in the most fucked up toxic positions because y'all want it one way. Y'all want to big up a person because he embodies something to you. Or he represents something for you. But the shit that he representing right now is dumpster juice. Alley cat, rats popping out the sewer, West Baltimore juice. Y'all, and you give them pass on top of pass on top of pass. And if anybody knows me at Ripper Gang Radio, we don't do passes. We don't give easy passes out. We don't let niggas pass the toes of responsibility at all. We're going to hold you accountable. And this individual has never been held accountable. And you got motherfuckers clapping and bigging this shit up right now. You want to know why? Because it don't fit because if they didn't, it don't fit the fucking agenda of any and everything that they've said about this individual or what they believed about him since day one. And I got some shit too. I could expose niggas. Because they talk in one way about him, but then when they talk to me, They talk a completely different way, but I ain't no sucker like that though. So I keep what's meant to be in the background in the background. Because I know what certain people be doing, and I know what certain people be saying, and I know how certain people be coming there, certain content creators. Well, guess what? If you got a problem with me, you just got a problem with fair criticism. Because I'm never going to live in the world you live in. Yo, y'all want to be y'all want to have favorite fighters. That's your fucking problem.
Yeah, it's about the sport. Nigga, your fighter gonna come and go. Sport gonna still be here, and that leads to it was something. And I'm glad you're on here because honestly, I kind of got this thought from you because I saw you on a live stream. I think it was about maybe a week or so ago when you was talking about how we be glorifying these dudes that want to sit here and get beat the fuck up, and we glorify these dudes instead of the dudes that actually really perform the sweet science of boxing. You know, we talk shit about them dudes,
Absolutely.
but the ones that want to sit here and play rock'em sock'em robots, we love them. They get all the praise in the world, called warriors and all of the other shit.
Since when was it your job or your obligation as a fighter to jump in the ring and get punched in your fucking head and get beat to the point of a vegetable, or you're walking around like, forgive me for saying this, Tommy Hearns, forgive me for saying this, freaking Terry Morris, forgive me for saying this, Mike McCollum, forgive me for saying this, Hitman, just because I want to
Freddie Roach,
Ivan Barkley, there are plenty of them. I could run down a slew of boxers who can't do nothing but dribble with their lip and not their fucking hands. They can only dribble with their lips and not their fucking hands. But y'all glorify sock and boppers, but you call slick boxers boring because these niggas is assed out. So they've created a narrative. They've created a narrative for guys who have a higher IQ than you, Dodo. You, dum-dum. You, the guy that only cared about you, the guy that goes out and pleases the crowd with your head and not your fist. I don't understand it. I'll never be a person that subscribes to something like that. I've always been a person who likes to break down meticulously the art of the sweet science. And here's my thing. If you're not fighting individuals of all shapes, sizes, and styles, you are limited. Because a great fighter, he isn't going to shy away from a style. A great fighter is going to go through trials and tribulations with a brawler, a slick boxer puncher. He's going to go through that with a smasher, somebody who just likes to be grimy on the inside on the phone booth, a hooker, a person who likes to hold you, clench you up 24/7, frustrate the hell out of you, guys that are poised, unpoised. There are so many different things that you're going to have to deal with. And if you ain't willing to deal with all of that, then it just tells me one thing. It shows your lack of ability, period.
Point blank.
What you fans are saying is you're a fan of lack of ability because you favor a motherfucker. So let's big up this dude, but at the same time, let's call the other dude, because you want to know when you call a nigga born? You want to know what that says to me? That says to me that you fearful of this nigga getting his ass whooped.
Yep, you can't beat him. You can't beat him. He don't match up with you right. The matchmaker, it's funny how y'all fight these dudes, and when y'all look at y'all resume and you look at stylistically, and I'm going to use this motherfucker, and even Canelo too. Wilder is one of them, where they get these dudes that fit you stylistically, perfect for you. He's not going to do much. He's going to stand right in front of you. He ain't going to move around, or he's not going to over-engage and try to overwhelm you or none of that shit. He's going to stand right in front of you. All you got to do is line him up, catch him with the right hand. He going to sleep. Fight 40 motherfuckers like that.
Now here's the
40
deal,
different motherfuckers, 40 same motherfuckers, same way, fight the same type of way, no difference.
Mm-hmm. And if you've gone through a whole catalog where everybody handpicked them for you and your voluntaries wasn't no savages, then it just shows exactly what it is. It shows exactly what it is for a lot of these promotional outfits. There's only a few fighters that genuinely take on the rawest competition and they're voluntarily willing to fight. Hey, it's free fucking smoke. It's only a few fighters. Now, here's the deal. And this is what I said in the video, and this was the most captivating shit that I felt as though I said in the video when it came to pertaining to Queen Ryan. I said this: you talk about being formed under pressure and your greatness and being this diamond in the ring and all of this shit. When you call yourself King Ryan, You wear ivy thorns like you damn Julius Caesar coming down, a ivy crown coming down, and then you leave the motherfucker in a real king's crown. So my thing is this: heavy is the head that wears the crown. Period.
Say it again.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. So I don't got no sympathy for you. You a sucker. 1000% lollipop.
Mm-hmm. Yep, claimed to be a king, but as soon as it came time to really run the kingdom, as soon as you saw you had little minions, you actually had to dictate traffic and really see what that king life was really about, you crumble. That's why you saw that text when I sent you a dude when he Vikings when he was asking the motherfuckers who wants to be king? Who wants to be king? Which one of y'all? All his people had the knife, pulled it out, said who want to be king? Which one of you? You? What? No. Who wants to be king? Evidently nobody. Because when it come time to really do some real king type shit, y'all bitch up.
And see, and Pigeon, I hear you saying that's not always true. Mayweather was born because he was always being helped by Kenny Bayless. That's kind of anecdotal. That's kind of how you feel about that. I would have to disagree because, I got a problem with people when they always speak on my man Money because they only focus on the money and aspect of his career like he wasn't pretty before that, tearing niggas the fuck up, knocking their whole fucking head off, having Diego Corrales basically crying in the corner of the ring because he can't fucking touch him and he getting beat the fuck up. He swelling niggas all the way up. Now, when you get older and your hands get fucked up, you use your IQ. That's a part of having IQ. You can box on the back foot smooth, use your defense, let it roll off the shoulder. Look, period. Niggas couldn't fuck with Mayweather. You couldn't fuck with him when he was young. You couldn't fuck with him when he was old. And every single one of your favorite fighters is trying to duplicate the style.
Not even his style.
Not career. Hold on. They're not trying to duplicate pretty, though. They're trying to duplicate money. So why do you like Canelo? Man, I should just drop the mic, man.
Man, listen. I don't know why y'all sit up here and hate on Floyd so much because y'all don't like his style. Or y'all didn't
like have Canelo if it wasn't for Floyd. You wouldn't have the Canelo you like right now if it wasn't for Floyd. Everybody talk about Money was born and this and that. Money beat the shit out of goddamn Canelo, and guess what? Canelo adopted that style and made himself better because a great boxer, he's going to see where he's deficient at and he's going to learn from it. Regardless whether it was a person who was victorious over you, you're going to look at him, adapt, and learn. People say Mayweather was born and this and that. All it is hate because you're probably a bigger Manny Pacquiao fan. Those are facts because there was this whole divide when Manny Pacquiao was on his come up because remember, Mayweather is older though. People always had this tendency to jump down Mayweather back. But everything people are learning right now and people are benefiting from is for the Money Mayweather. But Money Mayweather get criticized though. But you loving all of these other cocksuckers though, right? Man, look, man, this is where boxing is weird.
And Jerry says we wouldn't have Floyd if it wasn't for De La Hoya.
Of course. Well, I ain't gonna say that. You wouldn't have Floyd wouldn't have been able to elevate his stardom if it wasn't for the fucking De La Hoya fight. Now, Floyd was already there. Niggas already knew who Floyd was. It just wasn't. He just didn't become that. That was that mega fight that got him up out of his top rank contract and all of that to where he really branched off and really started making his big bread. Now, Floyd was doing Floyd. We can't act like Floyd wasn't there and Floyd wasn't active.
Gotcha. What's up with H Money, though?
Yo, what up, DT3? What's good, my brother? Mr. Two Hands, what's good with the brothers?
What's good, family?
Man, chilling. I had to chop it up with the brothers, man. Had to join the panel, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you having me, DT3. What's the topic, my brother? I just got here.
Really, we just cooking on, well, I'm going to start you off. What you think about Ryan Garcia's situation? Do you see it as a real situation? Like he really going through something, even based on the fact that he said he was going through some shit and then you see him doing a body shot challenge the next day. But anyway, do you think he really going through something or you think he just doing this because he really ducking?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. At this point, you never know what to believe. You know what I mean? With some of these fighters. And at the same time, this is a very I would say this right here is a very fragile situation when we talk about mental health and things of that nature. I really don't know, to be honest with you. You know, I was picking Ryan Garcia to beat Javier Fortuna. I thought Ryan Garcia was going to knock him out. You know, this is, like I said, this mental illness. Somebody claimed they got mental illness. I don't like to play with that. You know what I mean? Because you never know what somebody is going through. But it is kind of odd. All of a sudden, you start hearing about this mental health situation. I think only God could judge him at this point. But when you upload pictures, you know, the day after you out here with a girl, you know what I mean? You look like you partying, like you on a vacation. Now you put it up for the public to see. Now people gonna have their opinions about this situation. You know what I mean? Because you put it out for the public to see, you like you were on a vacation when you saying you going through mental illness and things of that nature. I don't know what to believe at this point, DT3, man.
Look, I say this, man. I say this. I judge a person based off of, okay, I'm gonna use my layout for how I do my videos. You notice I might want to do a video that day because something might have happened, but I can't give you the full extent of everything that's going on in the situation because you can't get the full story of one video. You might not be able to get it out of two. So I might sit and wait too much before I put a story together because I can't form all of the details of the story. Ryan Garcia has given me a whole fucking couple of years worth of bullshit where I've seen his patterns and I've seen the constant flip-flopping like foot thongs on sandy beaches time and time again. Now, the mental health stuff just don't add up to me. It don't add up. Now, I'm not saying exactly. We know people go through shit, but what you're saying and what you're doing don't add up. And what you've been saying and what you've been doing don't add up. So I got to say, man, bruh, you a fucking prima donkey, man.
All right, Jerry, you capping. First off, Floyd didn't beat a 23-year-old weight drank Canelo. For one, that fight was at 54, right? Now, when they came in the way, I'm sure Canelo was about, I think, 153.6 or some shit like that. But when they fought on fight night, if you watch the whole fight, the commentator stated that Canelo is in the ring and even look bigger. He's in there at 164 pounds. So he's fully hydrated in that bitch.
And I find that funny that they would say that, considering that Canelo is the weight drain king. He's the king of the 155 Ghost division. He's the king of having 5 catchweights with Alfredo Angulo, Aries Landry Lara, James Kirkland, Arturo Gatti, Amir Khan. So at the end of the day, what are you saying right now? And if I recall, Canelo is the one who said he'll take the fight on a catch weight.
So that sounds like Canelo fault to me. If anything,
you talking about a fighter? You talking about a Canelo? How long has Canelo been fighting at 154, going up to 100, 154, 160, going up to 170, all as far as 175 pounds, walking around like T2 Nello right now? This man been fighting 154 plus since before 2014, man. Give me a fucking break.
Basically, what I was alluding to, H-Money, after that was I was speaking also on something that Two Hands said in a previous live stream that he did about a week or so ago pertaining to how certain boxing fans and even YouTuber analysts and all that bullshit, they hype up these dudes that are just wing and ding, rock'em sock'em robot fighters, and they shit on fighters regardless of what race or denomination they are. They shit on fighters that really apply and really exude the science of boxing. So they call those dudes born. The ones that got good ring generalship, really know how to place their punches, really know how to use the pull counters, really know how to use their feet to their advantage to where they're not getting caught with stupid shit, really knowing how to move their head and all those type of things. Those type of fighters don't get the proper respect that they deserve. But the fighters that's willing to sit in there and just wing and ding and just take some to give some, the Arturo Gatti's, the Mickey Ward type styles of fight, they get all the praise and they get all the accolades. But the fighters that really, really show you what the sweet science is, they get called boring. What you think about that, H-Money?
Yeah, that's a great point right there. I mean, Andre Ward, the last a last American male Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? And he was called boring. Mayweather, they call him boring. I heard people call Devin Haney boring, and
Yep.
they don't appreciate the sweet science. Even when AJ outboxed Andy Ruiz
Call
in a
Shakur
rematch, they said,
Stevenson a runner.
yeah, Shakur Stevenson. Even when Anthony Joshua outboxed Andy Ruiz in a rematch, what did they say? It was a boring fight. He ran. You know what I mean? They said, so I mean, I know Lomachenko when he does it, they say Lomachenko is such a great boxer. He's you know what I'm saying? He got such great footwork. But I don't think they be consistent at the end of the day, man. Like Tyson Fury, I heard some people call him boring, but then some people say he's a superior boxer. I know that these fighters don't get the credit they deserve. You know what I mean? Boxing is the sweet science, DT3, and that means hit and not be hit, right? You know what I mean? And that's what boxing is all about. Boxing is the sweet science. Skills pay the bills. Those are my favorite fighters, to be honest with you. Andre Ward was my favorite fighter. Mayweather was my favorite fighter. Devin Haney, he's my favorite fighter right now. You know what I mean? I appreciate that type of style, my brother, to be honest with you. Because the less punishment you take, the longer you will last. Ain't nothing cool about going to war and getting knocked down, getting knocked out, and end up with brain damage at the end of your career. Ain't nothing cool about that. You know what I mean? It's best that you know what I'm saying, have a solid defense. Don't take a lot of punishment. You know what I mean? I think that's what boxing is all about. Hit and not be hit. And that's what fighters like Devin Haney, Demetrius Andrade, that's what they specialize in.
Like I don't know any fighter that, you know what I'm saying, walks down the aisle and heads to the ring and he's talking about, you know what I'm saying, I'm going in here, you know what I mean, to get blasted for a couple 10-8 rounds, man. I don't know any fighter that's thinking like, hey man, I'm going in here, man, to get the fans a couple, give the opposition a couple 10-8 rounds on my behalf of being knocked on my ass from playing soccer boxing. I don't know that. And here's another thing, right? It's funny to me how when Teofimo fought Lomachenko or whatever, you know, oh, he too young, he this and that, blah, blah, blah. I try to tell people, yo, you got to stop putting the, you know what I'm saying, the too young spin on shit like that because we know what Wilfred Benitez was doing at the age of 17, et cetera, et cetera. Some guys have a steeper learning curve than other, you know, because here's the thing, right? If Lomachenko would have went out there and motherfucking dominated motherfucking Teofimo, would the world have been saying that Lomachenko took advantage of a too young Teofimo? Because I hear him saying that shit about when it come to Canelo and Floyd. So would the world have been saying that about Lomachenko right now? Clearly not.
More than likely, no. And I agree with you, George. That's always boring. This is Tyson Fury. And Canelo he don't move like that. Canelo move, he uses his upper body waist movement to close the distance to apply his Mexican style. That's what he do. He don't move around like and dance and pop the G. He don't do that shit. Nah. He not gonna do that type of shit.
I tell niggas this all the time. Canelo is a superior boxer with a superior IQ, but Canelo doesn't have footwork. He operates, but he mastered what he does well. He stays mid-range. He stays mid to close range, so he is never out of position to cut you off or put you in position to bang you up. He's never going to get caught out of position in his footwork. He has mastered his upper body movement to where the mid to close range is his comfort zone, and it's his fucking danger, and it's the danger zone for anybody who gets in the ring with him. He has a very high Q, and he's a superior boxer. It's just certain shit in his career that, you know, hey, you just can't ignore. But Canelo does not have amazing footwork. Canelo knows how to operate well within what he does well. He knows he doesn't have, he knows what he has and he doesn't have, and he's mastered those aspects.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with that. Because everybody was talking about how he's a defensive fighter. Do you see Canelo as a defensive fighter or just a pure counter boxer puncher?
I see him as a poised fighter, man. I see him poised. I know Canelo's had a lot more looks. If you compare any young fighter to Canelo right now, you got to understand this guy started his career at 15. You know, he was fighting the Kermit Citrons of the world when these other guys were babies and stuff like that. So Canelo's been in the ring with a lot of people and had a lot of looks. And once again, he learned what I think he learned from that Floyd ass whipping more than anything was poise, calm, and the ability to pull and punch off of the counter. So Canelo, I would say he's defensively efficient, but I would say his poise and his ability, to play to his IQ works more than anything.
What do you think, H Money? What kind of fighter do you think he is? You think he's a defensive fighter? What kind of fighter do you think Canelo is?
I think he's all around fighter. To be honest with you, like a boxer puncher type of guy. Canelo does have underrated head movement. Now his head movement is a thing of beauty. The way he slip shots, you know what I mean. But he's not just a pure defensive fighter. Mayweather is what you call a defensive fighter. Pernell Whitaker is a real defensive fighter. His defense is nowhere near as good as a Mayweather or Pernell Whitaker, but he does have some solid head movement. He does have some defense. I think Canelo he's a great all-around fighter. His high guard defense is impressive with his high guard. And like I said, his head movement, how he's able to bob and weave and slip shots. Canelo has gotten better, man. He learned a lot from that Mayweather ass whooping, though.
Yeah, because, if you watch Canelo train, what is the number one thing he's always working on? He's working on, shifting the upper body, and he's working on his footwork, sliding the slip away from the punch, pulling with the punch. So at the end of the day, this is something that, Canelo has been working on for a long time. And if you watch Canelo work, he has a very proficient high guard. And once again, he likes to stay close to mid-range, working well inside his comfort zone, and he packs a hell of a fucking punch. Canelo likes to break his opponents down, so he's definitely a boxer punch. He's definitely a very efficient boxer puncher. I just think that the type of opponents that's been in the ring with him, they can never expose the things Canelo doesn't do well. It just ain't in their pedigree to do so. Canelo always going to take the fighters he's fighting right now. He's going to dominate and destroy him every fucking time. And I don't want to hear no fucking Jamal Charlo get it out the way, because it wouldn't happen. Jamal Charlo can't do it.
Too flat-footed, no head movement, no real weight.
Streamline 1-2 fighter. Yep. He'll get knocked the fuck out.
He'll get slapped. He too straight. He too straight up and down. It's like what they said about Triple G, straight up and down, no special effects. That's it. There's nothing special about everybody in hoop and holler about. That's another thing I gotta say before I do get up out of here, because I gotta cook dinner. But all this hyping on because the dude's fast and he got power. That's it. That's all the dude need. He's fast and he got pop. That's it. He don't got no real skill, no feet, no nothing. He's just fast and he got pop. He can punch. But once you take that away from him, he ain't got nothing. So I'm sick of y'all hyping up these fighters that just got a couple of little natural attributes that's helped them win a couple of fights. And then all of a sudden y'all think that the second coming of Jesus and they finna be out here, they finna be the next big thing. And they not. None of these dudes is finna step in the ring and fight nobody to really prove what they worth is. You only know how good you really are when you fight somebody that's gonna push you. Mm-hmm. And I don't see none of these dudes putting himself in position. I think that's why your boy Ryan Garcia is where he at in his career, because he saw he was in the verge of where he was in a position where he got to start fighting dudes that was going to push him, and he don't want to fuck up his pretty little face. So he not about this life, my personal opinion. I don't think that. I don't think Ryan is cut out to be a fighter. I don't think he cut out to be a boxer. That don't mean he not going through nothing. I'm just saying that based on from what I see, all the little shit he was talking and all that, and then you get in this position to where you fighting this dude and you was doing all this talking and you supposed to be at the height, not the height, but you at a height in your career where you should be like in a good, where we see you in a good place. But then all of a sudden we hear you go through this mental health, you got all these mental issues and all that, and then you want to go kick it with your broad and out sucking titties and doing body challenges, body punch challenges and shit.
Like I said, if you hold dudes accountable for what they doing, if you just look at his recent pattern, man, you wouldn't be able to do anything but other than get his dude smoked and criticize him in the worst ways for how he carrying himself. And that's just all it boils down to with me. I wish people start getting out their favoritism pocket, and understand, look, I don't hate this guy. I don't dislike this individual. I'm just holding him accountable to the shit that y'all motherfuckers are not.
Exactly.
And if you're not going to, don't expect me to motherfucking do it because I'm never going to conform, bro. I'm never gonna conform. This is not one of those channels that's gonna be your fucking, your DAZN sponsors, one of your fucking top ranked sponsors. Nah, I'm gonna be the nigga that's gonna tell you the truth.
Real rap. And no, I don't think, to answer your question, Jerry, again, I don't think they're slick enough to get. I don't think they slick enough. I don't think they got the body or the chin to give Canelo problems. Period. Point blank. They're not gonna deal. They can't deal with that pressure. What you gonna say, Deuce?
I said they can't fuck with him. And the only person I think that can fuck with him, there's only two people. There's only one person I think that'll give him hell at 168, and that's David Benavidez. And there's only one person I think and the other person I think beats him if he meet him at 168 or 175 is Dimitri Bivol.
Yep. So until then, I don't know, but I don't see Billy Joe, or I don't think. Look, if you calling Uzikai, whatever the fuck, Uzikai, you calling that dude the boogeyman of 68?
Yeah.
If that's the boogeyman of 68 and you beat him, if that's your boogeyman, I hate to see what you think about Canelo. And Uzikai put tips on you. And I know Canelo gonna hit you a whole lot harder, a whole lot smoother than Uzikai. I know that much for a fact. So I already know he gonna get planted. Billy Joe don't take his career serious. He don't train enough. He don't train hard enough. All he do is sit there and party like a motherfucking rock star. That's it. Billy Joe want to live the street life. He want all the perks of boxing, but he don't want to do the work. That's gonna show up when he fights like Canelo. If Billy Joe Saunders really wanted to be great, he wouldn't have fucked up his opportunity to fight Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade when he had the chance to fight him the first time. He would never fucked that up. But he fucked it up. So he don't really want to do shit great at all. He don't want to do shit great. So I don't expect him to do shit great. Canelo beats better be, though, who beats Bivol? Who beats Bivol?
I don't see nobody 175 beating Bivol. I don't see nobody 168 beating Bivol. I think Bivol is the most dominant guy around his division.
Yeah, he nice. He could box his ass off. He has a great jab. He got great movement, great footwork. He's one of my favorite fighters.
For sure.
And he got pop. He got good pop. But before I get up out of here, what did y'all think of the fight? The Berlanga Navarrete. What did y'all think of this?
I want to talk about Berlanga. I think Berlanga is being overhyped. Like they hyping it up too much. Like, come on, man. He's still fighting 8-rounders. This man was in an 8-rounder. He's a prospect at 24 years old. That tells you something about this guy. I think he's a very good fighter. He has a lot of talent. But when they say he's the next Mike Tyson, they need to stop it. They need to stop with that. Now you overhyping him. You know what I mean? He's becoming overrated. That's what I
think. Ain't even David Tua yet, for real. God damn.
Exactly. Now that dude he fought against Damon Nichols, right? He already been stopped by Jesse Hart. So if Berlanga's such a knockout artist, why he couldn't finish Nicholson, a guy who been stopped twice already? He got stopped by lesser opposition. So I mean, I think that he got tired in that fight. That was his first time going past one round, and he got tired. And Nicholson won the 7th round. You know what I mean? He won some rounds in that fight. He was hitting Berlanga with some hard body shots. He hit him with some hard power shots to the head. And yeah, man, you put him in there with a top guy like a Canelo or a fighter like a Benavidez, he's going to get stopped. You know what I mean? And I want to say thank you for having me, my brother. Shout out to my brother 2 times. You know what I'm saying? My brother gets the 2 hands. DT3 the boom man. Shout out to the NBBC, of course, the non-biased boxing community, man. Shout out to my boy DT3, man, Andrew Tucker, everybody, man. And I want to tell you guys, you know, I'm gonna holler at you. I want to welcome you to the panel, DT3 and Big 2 times. Come fuck with me, man. You know what I mean? Come to the panel. Let's chop it up, man.
Let's do it.
I bet.
For sure, man. Shout out to the NBBC, man. You already know. We out. I'm out.
But yeah, I had a little issue about the whole little Berlanga, I think he was overhyped. I really felt he was overhyped for real. For real, I
I
thought it
told
was
dude, man. How can you
too much.
gauge an individual if you ain't even seen him fight with nothing but around?
Yeah, so it's like it's just too much. And then I hate the fact that they quick to say somebody's the next Mike Tyson or the next Ali or the next Floyd, and they only got like 5 fights. They ain't fought nobody. They ain't fought one credible dude yet. And then when they finally do fight a credible dude, it's a C caliber dude, C plus at probably at best sometimes. These dudes ain't even fight B caliber dudes, and they just hyping these dudes up like they the best thing since fucking Hawaii
All
bringing
about
shit.
advertising appeal, bro. In my mind, it's all about advertising appeal and try to put that, on somebody is to try to give them a certain type of energy to casual fans. But see, this is what I think that these dudes aren't catching on yet. Man, fans aren't where they used to be. They ain't they're not as casual in the sense that where you can just keep just throwing these dudes Deontay Wilders and they don't fucking know anymore. That experiment, you've already tried it. People see it. They know what to look out for. So if you're going to try to do that with Edgar Balaga, they're going to eat that shit up. Can't do shit like that. Like boxing actually has some momentum right now when people are actually paying attention to it with a very close eye and they're critiquing it in most cases, you know what I'm saying, on the right level. If people are level-headed and sound with, their hypothesis or what they saying or their analytics. So at the end of the day, I just feel like these promoters are still trying to treat fans like they stupid, throw you in a trick bag and serve you shit and give you experiments like Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola and stuff at $49.99 to see if it sells, so they can keep whipping you up more bullshit like that because they don't think you know who is tough opposition or not. So they'll give you a guy like Edgar Berlanga and say he's the second coming to Mike Tyson and things of that nature. But if you know anything about 8-round, 6-round, 4-round fights and shit like that, you ain't fighting nothing but spare tires, bro.
I gotta ask you something. What's your take? Since everybody, I was asked this, I'll hit this on the gram, and I'm gonna touch on this, and then we're gonna get up out of here. But Wilder's working out. That's what I was told, and I was shown this. Wilder's working out.
That's
this
a
was Wilder
goddamn
after
joke.
his workout. Now
That's how why that nigga look every fucking day, man. And then he got fucking Malik Scott with him. How I'ma take him serious? That motherfucker with that big pig belly he got in that pig belly up abroad and his fucking OnlyFans page charging $25 a fucking month to watch him fucking suck on her fucking spare tire, fucking Michelin tire body having ass. Like this shit is a fucking joke. Wilder isn't getting better. Wilder isn't training. If you drop Mark Breland and go to Malik Scott, that isn't fucking training. That is just retardation, period. That is all it is. That is just purely retarded. You got Malik Scott. You're in a picture with Malik Scott right now, acting like you're elevating your game. The same guy who took a dive for you and sucked the farts out your ass, and you drop Mark Breland, fucking a 5-time fucking Golden Glove champion, the 2-time fucking welterweight champion, and fucking, you know what I'm saying, and who train guys like champions like Vernon fucking Forrest, fucking Devon Alexander to go to who? Fucking take fucking pictures with Malik Scott and fucking help him set up fucking OnlyFans? Get the fuck out of here.
He ain't work on his boxing. Wilder do a lot of strength and conditioning. That's what he do. Push up, sit up, so he could just maintain.
Don't even like to do roll work. I just put the video out. If you haven't seen it, I just dropped the video 2 weeks ago, and it's so funny that Malik Scott and him are in a picture together because it is pertaining to all of the things that we're seeing and what I was saying about why this is even more hysterical than what it already is. Because it's just like, yo, you cannot take this guy serious. Anybody that takes this guy or takes that serious, I'm sorry, but I'm truly praying for you. I really am, wholeheartedly and truthfully, because you need prayer. If you fucking think, because you're a hopeful individual.
Gotta let him know, bro. Cause I saw that and was like, that dude ain't working out. Cause like just like when they had him do the little fight camp when he fought Fury the first time, and they had him at pretty much like a Planet Fitness. The main workout you saw him doing was just holding the weight, lifting. That's his workout. That's his
with
fight
the 40-pound bag on inside the freaking gym. Like, bro, you're not doing parachute sprints in a fucking gym, bro. Like let's get this serious. How big is the facility you're at, bro? You be at Planet Fitness doing your workouts, bro. You're not a snack. You're not a snack or nothing like that with Victor Conte getting those grueling workouts that the rest of them boys are getting. Bro, you in that joint with that weird-ass fucking physical trainer you got from Alabama and shit like that. You running with that 40-pound bag on, dog, looking like you fucking frail as shit in that joint. Like Deontay Wilder was blessed with just natural aesthetics, man. From, just years of just ancestral strength. Like African Americans, to be truthful, we don't have to do shit to be cut. A lot of us are born naturally cut, 6-pack up and fucking ox strong. It is a known fact. I'm not making this up. We have an extra 2% of testosterone in our fucking body that other men do not have. So these are things that, are known facts. So Deontay Wilder, looking like he's training, that motherfucker will always look like he's training. All he's got to do is stand in Alabama fucking sun, sweat, then take a fucking picture.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Like Malik Scott, it's a fucking joke, dude. He has once again, it's more so about who's he's with that gives me this critique. Because like I said, if you're with Malik Scott, your downfall is your lack of accountability. So once again, you're still showing us that you are far from accountable of your actions. You're far from accountable from understanding that your skill set is so fucking lackluster, bro. As a head trainer or a professional, they wouldn't even know where to start with you. You would be damaged goods. And you being with Malik Scott, that's just an individual. Just like look, you got to understand the delusions here. When Wilder Fury 2 happened, Malik Scott and Wilder's physical trainer were standing next to them behind the backstage where all of those Brits were in the freaking stands in Las Vegas, screaming, going crazy. And I believe there might have been only 2 Wilder fans in the building. Malik Scott and his trainer had the audacity to try to pump this guy's head up and say, yo, they might be here for him, but this your show. You sold it. Everybody here for you. Bro, don't you hear all of these people booing you?
Wow.
So when I see you standing with a guy like that, and I actually put it in one of the videos I did, if I actually see you standing with a guy like that after you took your ass whooping the way you did and you outed the one guy who saved your life, bro, it would just tell me that you're headed for an even bigger collision course. And this time, the wall isn't going to be that forgiving.
Well, shit, with that being said, bro, I got to cook dinner, man. Deuce, take it out, bro.
Hey, man, this is MBBC, man. Shout out to my nigga DT3, the Boom, man. God, so what? Y'all already know. It's 2 hands to reaper, man. And as we always say at the end of this shit, man, it costs you nothing, man, to pay some niggas no mind, man. Respect them.